Nellie. We are about to start our show, but before we do, I would like to introduce our two fabulous can-can dancers, Tara and Lavanya. Let's give it up for them. And welcome to Dogtown Theater Company's production of Run to the Roundhouse Nellie. We sure are happy you could join us here in the lovely Kittitas Valley on this fine day. What a show we have for you today, folks. Thrills, chills, an evil villain, a damsel in distress, a genuine floozy, and we can't do it without you, folks. Because you see, melodrama is a very specific kind of art form. It depicts what experts refer to as a simplified moral universe, in which good and evil are easily identified, and evil is constantly overthrown by good. Now, we all know evil when we see it, don't we, folks? Now that is a man who is up to no good. Whenever you hear that evil laugh, I want you to boo and hiss. Let's try that. Yes. We also know evil when we hear this music. Now, whenever you hear that music, I want you to boo and hiss. Let's try that. Yes. Now, we all know good when we see it too, don't we, folks? We know he's good because of his white hat. Also, he's irresistible to women. Now I want you to clap and cheer whenever you feel the note. And when our hero gets his goal in a melodrama, we all say, let's try that. Folks, there's only one more thing you need to know before we start our show, and that is the suspense. suspension of disbelief. Folks, this sound is a train. Now, I just want you to imagine a great, big old locomotive about you, fire and smoke and sparks, and a tearing through this wall here, and a sweeping down the aisle, and going straight through the tent and onto the fairgrounds, and down University Avenue, past Perkins, and past Gerald's, and on to Seattle, and San Francisco, and Chicago, and New York. Can you do that for me, folks? Can you? Can you? Yes. Thank you very much.
Hey, Alex, can we go to Perkins? We sure do love that pot.
No, Tom. No. Maybe later. We're busy. All right, folks. So our story begins in the little train depot of Glory Gulch, where the men wear spurs and the women eat them for breakfast. Let's see what happens next.
I have a light footstep.
It's very useful in my line of work.
Well, I was just putting some new nails on this bench. It's getting to be a mite unsteady.
And well worn as well. These splinters could be lethal.
Oh, thank you, Hugo. I wouldn't want anyone sitting on that.
Throw it to the fireplace. It should burn for the whole evening.
Everything's going to pieces. Seems no one wants to come to Glory Gulch anymore.
It's not exactly the garden spot of Colorado.
Well, that's true. Most people would rather go to Colorado Springs.
Most people would rather go to Siberia.
Oh, you're exaggerating, Hugo. After all, we got a population of 99.
Yes, but 88 are prairie dogs, and most of the others look like prairie dogs. That's enough of this pleasant chatter. I received your message in town.
Yes, Hugo. You have been a great aid and comfort to us during your brief time here in town.
Yes, as they say, it's an ill good that brings no wind.
Isn't that an ill wind that brings no good?
I couldn't have said it better, my dear.
Well, it seems that once again I must impose upon your generosity, although I don't know how I can ever repay you.
Don't concern yourself with that, my dear. Merely the opportunity to serve you is repayment enough. The best part comes later, of course.
Well, I have some work I have to do on the roundhouse, and I need $100. Could you see clear to advance us that sum until the money comes in through the railroad?
In pittance, my dear. Now, if you'll just sign this little document.
I can't write and read without my glasses.
Merely the receipt for the money for my records.
Oh, very well, Hugo.
Little does she realize that bit by bit she is signing away her ownership of this railroad to me.
Thanks, Hugo. Would you like a cup of coffee before you go?
Her coffee tastes like mud, but I must be gracious.
Why, thank you, Harriet. I think I could gag down. I mean, enjoy a cup.
Well, I have to go into town to pick up the supplies for the roundhouse. Look, there's a pot of coffee on the stove. I'll have Nellie pour you a cup. Oh, Nellie! Can you come out here a minute? Yes, Mother. You know my dog, don't you, Hugo?
I always thought she was a boy.
You home, Mother? Yes, I have to go into town to pick up some things. Would you entertain Mr. Swindle while I'm gone? I'll bring you back some coffee. Certainly, Mother. I'll be back in an hour or so. Would you like cream in your coffee, Mr. Swindle?
I believe I'll skip the coffee just now, Miss Gage. That's an interesting chapeau you're wearing.
Chapeau?
Chapeau. It's a French word for your hat.
Oh, this is a French hat. It belonged to my father before his recent accident. Mother and I have been doing this little job around the station as best we can. Now, if you don't care for any coffee, is there anything else you'd like?
A tempting offer, my dear. It's occurred to me. I have a splendid office in town with no secretarial help. Have you considered such gainful employment?
But I have no training for that type of thing.
We have complete
on-the-job training and fringe benefits as well.
Why, sir, what do you mean?
Just think. You'll get to know me better. Much better.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Swindle. My mother suggested that I entertain you. I don't believe this is exactly what she had in mind.
Maybe not, but I've paid your mother a great deal of money. You have a moral obligation.
I have visited the large cities on this railroad with my father and seen the terrible things that go on there. It is not a moral obligation you are referring to, Mr. Swindle.
Come now, my dear. What's a little hanky-panky between friends? Be a bit more cordial, Miss Gage, and we can drop the matter of money that your mother owes me.
Never! My virtue is not for sale, Mr. Swindle!
How can you resist my tender advances?
I'll find a way.
Just one little kiss, and I'll say adieu.
Forget the French. I'm going to say adios!
I'm a man who believes in getting what I want, and that's you.
Let me go! Ouch! You're hurting my arm! Ah!
Did I hear a call for help?
Looks like you two got a mite tangled up.
Sterling, it's you!
Well, of course it's me. Who else wears a white hat, white shirt, white pants, and white boots? Black. Well, that's because that black gooey stuff keeps coming up all over my land. Now, I told you about that, Mr. Swindle.
Oh, Sterling, I'm so glad you arrived when you did.
Me too. I was afraid I'd missed the strain. I wasn't interrupting anything, was I?
I was just instructing Miss Gage in the art of self-defense.
Good idea. You never know what kind of critters you might find hereabouts.
I've got a pretty good idea.
As you know, Nellie and her mother live here alone, and I've taken a personal interest in their well-being. Isn't that so, my dear?
A real personal interest, you might say.
But now I must be going. Oh, I almost forgot. I have a friend arriving on the train tomorrow. Would you see fit to give her this note when she arrives?
I'll see that she gets it.
Nice seeing you again, Sterling.
That Mr. Swindle's one fine fellow. He's offered to buy my land even though it's not much good for anything. And taking the time to teach you that self-defense, well, I mean, it looks real complicated.
Oh, it's easier than it looks, Sterling. Maybe you should try it sometime?
Maybe I will. Well, that Hugo looks like a pretty good teacher.
Oh, what will you be with me?
Awesome teacher. I'd never do that. Say, what time's the 314 in Virginia City?
Look for it any time you want, but it's 2 hours late.
I was expecting to pack it, but I guess it'll wait. Get back to my horse anyhow. He gets right home when I'm all around.
Oh, Sterling!
Yes?
Will I see you tomorrow?
Well, reckon so. You'll need to pick up that hat.
Amen.
Come forward to provide what we in the theater business call an act break. Now, in a more formal or traditional setting, a grand curtain would come sweeping across the stage in beautiful crushed velvet, and a girl in a gold bikini and fishnet stockings would come prancing across the stage with a sign that said, "Sometime later," or "That afternoon," or "Scene 2." But because this is a family show, we're going to skip the girl in the gold bikini voice. Come on. We're going to skip the girls in the gold bikini. And I'm going to stand here and play a little riff on my guitar. There. Wasn't that great? Go. So, the train pulls out of the station, leaving behind a right burning gal. And a pile of suitcases.
Good morning, ma'am. Welcome to Glory Gold. Oh, thank here at the station. Has anyone been asking for me? Well, not that I know of. Perhaps someone left a message with my daughter. Oh, Nellie! Can you come out here a minute? You call me Mother? Yes. Has anyone been asking for this lady? Not that I know of.
I don't understand. Well, never mind. Would you get my baggage so I could start to town?
Of course. And what's your name?
Baggage.
Of course you want the baggage, but I need your name first.
That is my name, Baggage. Sheila Baggage.
Well, so it is. There's 2 suitcases here for Sheila baggage.
That's right, they're mine.
I thought they might be. All the train left except for you, of course. We don't get many visitors now that we both run out of Glory Gulch.
Oh, Miss Baggage!
Yes!
I believe I have a message for you.
Oh, why didn't you say so? Someone has been asking for me then.
Not that I know of. Mr. Swindle is by left an envelope with your name on it. I suppose he must have meant it for you. I kind of overlooked it in the excitement and everything.
What did you do? Preserve it in oil?
Did get a mad smudge.
Oh, good. It's from my friend Hugo Swindle.
My man, Mr. Swindles. He has been a great comfort to us since the loss of my husband last year.
He appears to be a fine man, it's true, but there is something about Mr. Swindle I do not entirely trust. And now the arrival of this mysterious woman in Glory Gulch? I wonder what it all can mean.
Excellent. Hugo informs me he'll merely be delayed a short time in town. You won't have to arrange for transportation at all.
That's good, because I don't know none except Shakespeare.
Oh, what's that? She means walking. Oh, how quaint.
Well, I guess we get back to old 99. That is the closest, sootiest engine I ever saw. Nice to have met up with you, Miss Luggage.
Ooh, that's baggage.
Oh, yes, Miss Baggage. Well, I'll see you later.
What is that girl doing in that dreadfully dirty outfit?
She's working on old 99.
I'm aware of that, but I've never seen a woman running a railroad.
Our story is an unhappy one. And I'd hate to burden a stranger with our misfortune.
Naturally, I don't wish to try, so...
My husband and I came west when Nellie was just a child. He was a railroad man all his life. And when they struck gold at Glory Gulch, we obtained a right away and built a railroad straight to the diggings.
Oh, your very own railroad.
Yes, we connected with the main line of the great north, south, east, west, and central limited. Everything went well until the gold ran out. And that was the end of our little railroad.
Oh, and your husband.
My poor dear Harold Gage. Poor he chose he was known to his friends.
Calm yourself, Miss Gage.
Oh, thank you. Well, my husband got in a mysterious accident less than a year ago. Fortunately, Nellie and I are old-time railroaders, and the great north, south, east, west, and central limited have provided us with employment in our era of need.
Oh, how difficult that must have been.
Yes. And sometimes I don't know what we would have done and had it been for Mr. Swindle. Not only has he shown concern for our welfare, but he has also loaned us the money to settle our debts with only our worthless railroad stock as security.
I have known Mr. Swindle for some time, and believe me, helpless widows have always been a matter of real interest for him. Oh, and speaking of Mr. Swindle, I believe he's coming now. We were just speaking of you.
Ah, Sheila, my dear, my apologies for being tardy. I had my weekly appointment at the tonsorial parlor this morning.
You mean a shave and a haircut?
That's right. And Miss Gage, how can I ever thank you for looking out for my friend until I arrived?
Oh, that's all right, Mr. Swindle.
It was most thoughtful, however, because it would have been most unfortunate had my tardiness caused Miss Baggage such undue consternation so early in her vacation.
Oh, you on holiday then, Miss Baggage?
Holiday. Yes, of course.
Sheila is an old friend of the family and is currently head mistress at the Philadelphia Finishing School for Girls, where she has been working much too hard, however, and was advised to take a brief vacation. So she decided to come out west. That way her trip will both be relaxing and educational as well.
They do say travel is broadening.
They do say that, don't they?
I was wondering, Miss Baggage, since you was here, if you would... No, it's too much to ask.
Oh, come now, Harriet. You know we're always willing to do anything to be of assistance.
Isn't that so, Sheila?
Yes, of course, Hugo. Anything you say.
Well, it's not for me. It's for my daughter, Nellie. She's a good girl, Nellie is.
Yes, I know.
And I don't mind her working on the locomotives all the time, but she's getting to be quite the anyway, dear. And I was wondering, since you was here, Miss Baggage, if you would talk to her, give her some advice about dressing up and stuff.
On my vacation!
Sheila!
Naturally, I'd be delighted to talk to your daughter.
Oh, thank you both so much. I'll have to get back to work. But I look forward to seeing you again real soon, Miss Baggage.
Of course, Miss Gage, the Philadelphia Finishing School for Girls. Where did you get that story?
It seemed pretty good at the time. Besides, how did I know we were going to get stuck cleaning up that greasy daughter of hers?
What do you mean, me?
Remember, we're partners in this venture, my dear. And you must have learned something about dressing up after all those years in that saloon.
Oh, remember I was an actress.
Of course.
At least it was honest.
Yes, and like anything honest, it didn't pay very well. Speaking of pay, did you make arrangements for that contract we discussed?
Yes, here it is. The Happy Gusher Oil Company agrees to pay not only the usual royalties for all the petroleum pumped from Glory Gulch, but also agrees to pay $1 million to the Glory Gulch Railroad immediately after the first well is brought in.
Everything is coming out perfectly. 1 whole year I've worked on this project and now it nears completion. You'd best slip this contract into your luggage, my dear. If word of this got out, all would be lost.
All right. At least my part of this is finished. But the Happy Gusher Oil Company believes we own the mineral rights to the property here.
And so we do. On everything but the J Double Bar Circle XYZ branch. And that's just a matter of time.
Well, it had better be. According to the geologist from the oil company, the main oil field lies right in the middle of the ranch. How did you manage to keep that a secret for so long?
I suggested that geologist pose as a mining engineer. Remember, an oil strike can be just like a gold rush. And if word of this got out, every oil company in the country would be here bidding for the rights. Happy Gusher has a lot to gain by keeping this quiet.
But they believe they're dealing with the real owners.
There's no need for concern. Everybody knows that Glory Gulch is played out, and I have quietly bought up all the claims. And I happen to know that Sterling Worth, owner of the J Double Bar Circle XYZ branch, is in desperate financial straits and will sell cheaply.
But what about the Glory Gulch Railroad? That'll be worth $1 million.
The advantages of planning ahead, my dear. Shortly after my arrival, I made arrangements for a little accident for the owner, Mr. Gage, a fatal accident. And then, posing as a friend to the family, I loaned his widow the last of the money to pay off the last of their business expenses, and all they requested for security was to stop in their worthless railroad.
You're a real rat, you know that, Hugo? If I had known about this when I got together with you and
Well, you're in it now, so stop complaining. Look, here comes that big cowboy now.
You mean Sterling Worth?
Yes, he's tied up his horse by my buggy, just past the station house there. He's probably stopping by to check on his mail.
Howdy, Hugo.
Ah, my good friend Sterling Worth. I'd like you to meet a charming visitor from the east, Sheila Baggage. This is the owner of the J Double Bar Circle XYZ branch, Sterling Worth.
Very pleased to meet you, sir. Ooh, what a handsome one he is. That's an unusual name for a ranch.
Well, it takes an awful big branding iron, but it's hard to rustle my cattle.
Oh, you must have a pretty good-sized herd then.
Well, we're kind of building up at the moment.
How many head are you running now?
Well, you see, last I'd say it was just about 4.
4,000. That's
Nope, not quite.
400 then.
Nope, just 4.
Only 4 head of cattle? That can't be a very profitable ranch.
Matter of fact, ma'am, it's not. Sometimes it gets downright discouraging. We could do a lot better, but that black gooey stuff keeps oozing out of the ground and getting into the water. It makes it hard on the cattle.
That must be an awful big problem.
boys.
Howdy, Nellie.
Did you come over to pick up your mail?
Yep, already snooped out to that catalog house. Soaked to the mind keeps getting dirty.
It'd be nice if they got here in time for the dance Saturday night.
Their dance Saturday night?
Of course, why, everybody's been talking about it.
You going?
Well, I've had lots and lots of invitations, but I haven't rightly made up my mind yet about who to go with, that is. What about you?
Well, I haven't really thought. You go on and have a good time.
Thanks very much.
Just a moment, Sterling. There's a matter of some urgency I wish to discuss with you. I'll be back in a moment, Sheila.
Oh, darn.
I see what her mother means.
What was that?
Oh, nothing. You like that big cowboy, don't you?
How could you tell?
Oh, another woman knows these things.
We was practically brought up together. Do you suppose that's why he never pays any attention to me?
I'd say it's a bit more than just that.
What do you mean?
I don't know, that outfit you're wearing, for example, isn't exactly the most attractive thing I've ever seen.
Well, I gotta wear this when I'm working in the Roundhouse.
What exactly is a roundhouse?
It's that building right over there where we can work on the rolling stock. That's which turns the trains off the main line into the Roundhouse so we can oil them up or take care of what ails them. Dad taught me just about all there is to know about trains.
Oh, but he didn't teach you a lot about men, did he?
I guess not.
Well, you must own a dress.
Of course. I own 2 dresses. The one I wore for graduation and my Sunday go-to-meeting outfit.
Perhaps I'm not from the Philadelphia Finishing School for Girls, but I do hate to see such an innocent young beauty go unappreciated. And I did promise you I'd do what I could. Perhaps your wardrobe could just use an addition or 2. And maybe the rest of you could do with a bit of touching up as well.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Why don't we go into my other suitcase and let's see what we can find?
Oh, how pretty!
Oh, never mind. It's just an amateur theatrical here. Oh, this is lovely. Where could we change it, perhaps wash up a bit?
There's no place to have a station house.
Well, this is kind of short notice, but let's see what we can do. Come on.
I'm sorry. Your new clothes didn't arrive on the train, Sterling. Perhaps I'll be on the next one. That'll be along any time now. But I don't think the 314 stops at Glory Gold. It's an express train straight through Virginia City. Still, I'm mighty glad we had a chance to talk. Yes, by this time next year, you'll probably be the biggest rancher in the territory. I still can't see why you want to buy that little spread of mine. I told you, I've come to love Glory Gulch. And your place is located just so conveniently right outside of town. Besides, the country is moving west. And one day Glory Gulch is going to boom again. Well, maybe so. But as long as I can get into town for my supplies, well, that's close enough for me. And with what you're paying, well, I can buy a spread twice the size of my last one.
But plenty of clear water and good grazing land, too.
That's right. Now remember, that flat gooey stuff just about ruins my land for instance. I sure wouldn't want you to think that I was cheating you. Don't worry. Your place is ideal for my purposes. Now, why don't you go home and pick up the deed and we can go to the bank and get the money this afternoon? Fine. Where shall I meet you? Well, I must look after my guest, Miss Baggage. I wonder where she could have gone. Her suitcase is still here. Your place is located just over the rise. Why don't you meet me back here and we can ride into town together? All right, I'll be back shortly. And thank you. Don't mention it, Sterling. That's right. Don't mention it, Sterling. Soon your ranch and a fortune in oil shall be mine. All mine. Only one final step remains to get control of the Glory Gold Railroad.
Yes, Hugo.
Harriet, you and I have been friends for some time now.
Ever since I lost my husband in that tragic accident.
The accident? Oh, yes. Well, I've been thinking. Glory Gulch is no place to raise a daughter as attractive as your sweet Nellie.
Well, I know what you mean. We love the railroad, but ever since meeting your friend Miss Baggett, I can see that Nellie has been denied many advantages she might have had her father's child.
Yes. Well, how would you like it if I could make it possible for you to give her these advantages of which you speak?
Why, Hugo? What do you mean?
As you know, I have been advancing you small sums of money against your stock in the Glory Gulch Railroad.
You have been very generous.
Then you will be pleased to know I will not only accept your stock in lieu of your financial obligations to me, but also offer an additional $5,000 for full title to the railroad.
But Hugo, that line hasn't even been running since the gold ran out in Glory Gulch.
I know, but I have faith in the future. And who knows, maybe one day I'll be able to realize a small profit on my investment, like about $1 million.
Your offer is very generous.
Then it's agreed.
No! I can't bring myself to do it. True, our railroad may be worthless scrap and timber, but it stands as a tribute to my late husband, Harold Gage, or H.O. as he was known to his friends. He would never forgive me if I give it up so easily.
Come now, Harriet. You must forget sentimentality when money is involved.
I'm sorry, Hugo. I can't give up the railroad.
I had hoped you would be reasonable. Whoever said you wish to take that position, I am forced to bring to your attention this agreement to which you signed. As you see, it is a mortgage for your railroad, pledged against the money you borrowed.
But you said that was just a formality.
All matters of business are just formalities. Now accept my offer, or I shall begin foreclosure proceedings immediately, and then you will have nothing.
It seems I have no choice.
Of course not. Now where do you keep the stock?
Well, locked up in the bank in town.
Then go and get it. Now.
But what about the 314 to Virginia City? It's due along in a minute now.
If there's any problem, I'm sure your daughter can handle it. Now go ahead. You can borrow my buggy.
Well, how thoughtful. Well, you just think of everything, don't you?
I certainly try.
And how goes things on our little plan, Hugo?
Splendidly! Sterling Worth has agreed to sell me his ranch, and Harriet Gage is on her way to town to pick up the stock to the railroad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wouldn't want this to get told. What's this? $1 million for Glory Gulch Railroad?
Don't worry yourself about that, child. It doesn't concern you.
$1 million? Why did you tell us this, Baggage?
I was keeping it as a surprise!
Yay! I can't wait to tell Mother.
Curses, if word of this gets out, she'll never turn over that stock to me.
What do you mean?
I mean that it's dangerous to go poking our noses into places that don't concern you. Ah, there's always a good sturdy piece of rope around the railroad depot. This should do nicely.
I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Swindle.
I'm going to take care of you, dear, the way I did your father. I'm going to arrange a little accident. A fatal accident.
I would never be party to such a nefarious deed. Quick, Nellie, run! Hugo is dangerous! Run for your life!
You'll not escape me now.
Oh, what should I do? Where can I hide?
Run, worth even more.
That black gooey stuff all over it?
That black gooey stuff is oil. You're rich!
Wait a minute. How do you know all this?
I must confess everything. I've had nothing to do with the Philadelphia Finishing School for Girls. I worked at a saloon in Chicago until Hugo picked me up. I was his confederate in all this, and now I'm prepared to take my punishment.
If it had not been for your assistance, it might have been me crushed beneath that great locomotive instead of Hugo Swindle. I forgive you everything.
Your true goodness showed through in the end.
This is too much for me. I feel very well here. Let me help you inside.
Are you, sure you're all right, Nellie?
Of course. But just look at me. I'm a mess.
I am looking at it. It's like really seeing you for the first time.
How can I ever pay you for saving my life?
I just hope that I can always be near when you need me.
Oh, Sterling.
Nellie.
She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be riding 6 white horses. She'll be riding 6 white horses. She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. So we'll all go out to meet her when she comes. So we'll all go out to meet her when she comes. Oh, we'll all go out to meet her. Oh, we'll all go out to meet her. Oh, we'll all go out to meet her when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's our show. Thank you for coming to Run to the Roundhouse Nellie. We are a Georgetown Theater Company, Ellensburg's only professional theater company, and we will be here, right here, every day, once a day, through Sunday. Admission is free with entrance to the fair. Our fabulous cast is Audi Nation,